A protest is taking place in Montreal, calling for justice for an Atikamekw woman. Joyce Echaquan died on Monday at a hospital in Joliette, Quebec. Before she died, the 37-year-old mother of 7 went live on Facebook and recorded the abuse and racial taunts she endured by the staff. Her death prompted an immediate outcry from her home community, with family and advocates saying she did not receive adequate care, to say the least. Advocates say this points to a larger issue of systemic racism in the province. Today's protest is organized by the Native Women's Shelter of Montreal. Naguset is the organization's executive director, and she joins us now from the protest. Tell us, Naguset, what message are you trying to send with this protest?
With this protest, we want to show people that actions speak louder than words. And the amount of people that come out here today are showing the government that there is systemic racism, that what happened to Joyce is unacceptable and it should not happen ever again in any form. So we have quite a few people here today. We have amazing speakers here today. We're going to go on a march. We're working really well with the police. We're doing our social distancing. We're trying to keep safe in the red zone here in Montreal, but we also have our drums. We want to send a strong message to her family that we love her. We are so sorry this happened, and we are going to do what we can so it doesn't happen again.
So I'm sure you've seen reports that the Premier of Quebec, François Legault, has denied that there is any systemic racism in the province's healthcare. How do you respond to that?
I don't understand how he can say that when the Viens Commission report sits on his desk. So he's either putting his head in the sand and ignoring the reports, or he just doesn't want to admit it, because if you admit it, then you have to change. So I encourage him to read the report, and if he doesn't want to read the report, he can go onto the Viens Commission's website and he can watch the testimony of all those that have been faced with discrimination from the hospitals, from youth protection, from the police, from education system. It is pretty broad. And then he can let us know whether or not he still doesn't want to admit it.
Now, you have spoken before about your work with the Native Women's Shelter there in Montreal and how your organization escorts clients to medical visits because of these concerns about racism. Can you give us some examples of what you have yourself observed, and what is the issue that people would need to be escorted to medical care?
What happens is our people get turned away from the hospital, or if they are actually seen at the hospital, they get all kinds of derogatory comments. So whenever we send someone to a hospital, we always ask the staff to go, and we have a special incident report that we bring. So as soon as we see the behavior, we literally write it down and we hand it into their supervisor with measures to change the behavior. And when you put it in writing, that's the only way they react. So we've had good experiences from this because they've made changes. They've actually, one of the addiction center that refused the woman then came back, and the center said to us, okay, we're gonna get a training from you and we're gonna give you guys a training. So that was a good situation. But to think that we need to do this every single time we go to an institution is unacceptable. So I'm hoping today, with the amount of people that are here, that, systems change. And maybe I don't have the power to do it, but I think this collective does.
So now, in this tragic case of Joyce Echaquan, a nurse and an orderly have been fired. They've lost their jobs over what happened there, and 3 investigations have been launched. Do you think that is enough?
No, it's not enough, okay? I think what they need to do is go into the entire hospital system and see who is biased, like you do at a jury duty, right? You ask people whether or not you're biased. If you are, they remove you and they bring in someone else. That's what you need to do. You need to make reparations with the community, because what happened to Joyce happened in her community time and time again. So I think there's a lot that needs to be changed. And I really hope that something happens now.
And what are you hoping will come from today's rally?
A lot of things. Inspiration, that other communities will see what we're doing and they will do their own protest. That people will get some kind of hope from this, to see that all the people around here care for Joyce. And that, the government takes their head out of the sand and says, hey, I believe that it actually is discrimination. So I think I'm going to apply the Viens Commissions.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Nagusset, and we wish you all the best with your rally there today.
Thank you.